Hi everybody, Martyn the Flicking Feathers again today, and I'm tying the Joe to go. Right, it's a skinny water tailing bonefish fly, although it'll work for other flat species as well. Anything will come up into that really skinny water. As always, I'll put a materials list in the description, along with a link to the Patreon page for anybody that wants to support the channel, get access to the members only content, the monthly online tie-in meetings, and enter the giveaways. You can also subscribe, hit the bell button so you get notified of the new videos. That's all appreciated. So I've got my hook and my vise. This is a Gamakatsu SL11 3H. It's a size 6. Now I'm going to make a couple of slight changes to the original fly, just in the way I tie it, to make it fish hook point up without weight and be a bit safer in amongst the coral and all that, really. But otherwise it's basically the same. So I've run on some Danville's Flymaster Plus and Chartreuse, and I'm going to come round the bend, right? So basically I'm tying like a size 4 fly on a size 6 hook, but by coming round the bend like this, I'm going to create drag on the gape side of the shank, which helps to turn the fly. Now the first thing I'm going to tie in is a wee bit of crystal flash. I've got 5 strands here, 4 or 5 strands is fine. I'm going to just measure that up so it's about a hook length. I'll catch it in. And it's just plain pearl crystal flash. You can use Rootbeer if you like, or tan or whatever, but I don't think it actually matters. Just got to get that locked in. And then I'm going to tie in some Hackle tips here. Grizzly, or this is I've got a kind of variant cree here I quite like the colour of. Grizzly is the original pattern, but again, adjust. A white body with a grizzly hackle is very good. Just adjust it to suit you, where you're fishing and that. So I'm going to get 4 that are roughly about the same shape. I'm taking 2 from each side of the cape here. This cape's getting well picked. It's there's been a lot of crabs and shrimps come off it. So I'll take my first 2 and I'll offer them in. Again, like shank length to hook length, and I'm offering them so that they curve out. Like the concave side is towards you on your side. Take a loose wrap, see how it's sitting. You can always adjust at this stage. That looks alright to me. And I'll get my 2. Line up the tips. Measure them so they're the same length. Tie them in my side. Now you can see it's obviously a bigger hackle that I've used on my side, but the tips are about the same shape, right? That's what's important, right? And you can see there you've got the wee sort of splayed hackle, and you can just adjust that, accentuate it if you want. But make sure you tie them around the bend, right? That's what's important. I want it so that they're sticking up, causing drag on that side. You know, a lot of people got hung up on the flies fishing hook point up too much, in my opinion. Actually, like you can often fish a hook down fly on even in quite shallow flats. If you put a Weedguard on and the fly's very lightly weighted, you can get away with it fine. But where I'm going to fish this, it's marl and broken coral and volcanic rock, so I do want that extra protection of the hook being flipped. I'm just going to build a wee hot tag of the Chartreuse thread there. And then I'm going to get some Rootbeer ice chenille or cactus chenille or estaz. And again, this is something you can just sort of adjust the colour to suit you, suit where you're going. I'm going to catch this in, just leaving that wee space, and then I'm just going to get that out of my way. And tie in my eyes. Now I've just got a wee stock. This is just £60 nylon. You can tie it with, I wouldn't go any lighter than 60, maybe 80 or 100 would be good. If you want a bigger eye. I've burnt the ends and hit them with a black marker. I'm just folding it, just pinching it, putting a wee crease in the middle, and then I'm just going to tie it in on top. Just figure 8 it in. And then squeeze it slightly. Just need to pull it very slightly to meet. There we go. And I'll pinch that and tie back in front. It might seem a bit awkward, but I like to just get my eyes positioned, and then I'll come in and take a couple of turns of the chenille and catch it on the underside. And you can see there the eyes are just sort of behind the hook point. I'll secure that thread with a couple of that chenille, sorry, with a couple of wraps of thread, and then tie back, keeping those eyes in position. Then we'll set this out the way, and from the same cape, got to get 2 more hackles, bigger. These are not bad. Hopefully I can get 2 sort of nicely marked at the same size. There we go. And I'll tie these in. Just get them secure. Trim away my waist, and I'm just going to tidy everything up on the way forward. And I'll just put a half hitch in here to position my thread just a head length back. And then I'm going to wind this chenille. If you want, you can put a bit of glue down before, but it's probably fine not to bother. When you get to your thread, you can tie that off. 2 will hold it to trim, and put another few on just to secure everything. Then sweep everything back. Sort of lock it in place. Then I'll take my hackle and just wind the back. Can be a bit tricky with these. You might need your hackle pliers. Obviously, if you've got like a nice big saddle feather that's got a long enough hackle barb, it would make things easier. But these wee neck hackles are a lovely colour that I've got, so I decided to use them. And I'm just palming this forward, both hackles together. forget the front will tie it off. Just fold everything back. And you can break away. Or cut away if you can't grip them. Those hackle tips, I can't quite get them. And just use the thread wraps to sort of control everything here. Build up a decent sized head, and then you're ready for your Weedguard. I'm using £20, you can use 16 if you want, hard nylon. Got a couple of inches here, and I'm just going to fold it in half, make a wee V, take 3 wraps, right that way, grab the Weedguard, 3 wraps the other way, pull it tight. You can sort of consolidate it. I'm going to need to take a figure 8 through that just to position the sprigs a bit better. Sometimes you don't need to do that, but in this case it's necessary. And I'll just want to finish in behind. And another. Try not to catch any fibres as best you can. I mean, the fish don't care, but once that's secure, trim away the waste. Now, to further help the fly to flip, I'll just take my big scissors, come in for this side, and trim right along the underside. I don't want any fibres going on this side of the shank. Varnish. And then the last thing is just to trim that Weedguard or coral guard. And that's you. That's the Joe to go. Good fly. As I say, designed for skinny watertail and bonefish, but I mean, anybody that you're fishing in very shallow water for things like, I mean, there's, I'm sure, yellow spot trevally, goldens, triggerfish, all that. I mean, it's just a wee mantis shrimp, really. I reckon this. You can use chenille, just ordinary chenille instead of the ice chenille or the cactus chenille, for really bright conditions if you want. And another thing that some people do is they put some calf tail in with the tail just for when the hackles break. I just double up on the hackles and they seems to be okay. It's up to you, do what you like. So, hope that was useful, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up below and subscribe to the channel. Tight lines, guys, bye.